Verona, Italy, 1780s. A little girl no older than 6 stands at the grand balcony of the Canossa palace, overlooking the bustling city below. She should feel safe. This is her home, a fortress of wealth and nobility. But she doesn't. Her father is dead. Her mother has remarried and left her behind. The walls of the palace, once a place of comfort, now feel like a prison. From her window she sees children her age, barefoot, hungry, shivering in the cold. They have nothing. And yet, are they freer than she is? This is the moment where something shifts inside Magdalena. She doesn't have words for it yet, but a fire is beginning to burn, one that will consume her entire life. As a noblewoman, Magdalena is expected to marry well, maintain the family name, and embrace a life of ease. But Magdalena doesn't want ease. At 17, she does something unthinkable. She walks away from her world of wealth and enters a Carmelite monastery, hoping to dedicate her life to prayer. But as she kneels in silence, she feels it, a restless pull in her heart. One night, as she prays before a crucifix, she hears a voice deep in her soul. "Not here, my daughter! I have another mission for you!" Twice she tries to become a Carmelite. Twice she leaves. The fire inside her won't let her stay. Her family is furious. If she won't be a cloistered nun, she should at least be a proper noblewoman. But Magdalena begins to wander the streets of Verona, not as a lady of wealth, but as a silent observer. What she sees will haunt her forever. War has left the city broken. Orphans dig through garbage for food. Young girls, abandoned and desperate, sell themselves to survive. The sick are left to die alone. And suddenly, she realizes, this is why I was born. This is my monastery. The streets are my cloister, the suffering are my sisters, but one question remains: how? For years, Magdalena wrestles with God. She knows she is called to serve the poor, but her noble family holds her back. They control the money. The name Canossa is powerful. She cannot simply walk away without consequences. And then, in 1808, something inside her snaps. One morning, without telling anyone, she walks out of the Canossa palace and never returns. She moves to the poorest district of Verona, setting up a small house with a few like-minded women. They have no money, no influence, no plan, only a burning desire to love as Christ loves. Her family is outraged. They call her foolish, irresponsible, disgraceful, but Magdalena doesn't care. She has found her true home. The suffering come to her door in droves: starving children, battered women, the sick, the abandoned. She welcomes them all, giving them food and education, and most of all, love. Word spreads. People start calling her work Madness. But some women are drawn to this madness. They join her, forming what would become the Canossian Daughters of Charity. But the fire cannot be contained in Verona alone. Magdalena's mission expands at a breathtaking speed. Venice, Milan, Bergamo, Trent. With every new city, the poor flock to her. They are starving, not just for food, but for dignity, for knowledge, and for faith. She opens schools, she teaches the uneducated, she personally cares for the sick in hospitals, but her greatest dream remains unfulfilled. She knows that boys and young men too are in desperate need of guidance. She wants to create a male branch of her order, but for years every attempt fails. Still, she doesn't give up. And finally, in 1831, just 4 years before her death, she succeeds. The sons of charity are born. Her life was a contradiction, born in wealth but choosing poverty, offered comfort but embracing suffering, called to silence but served in the noisiest, most broken places of the world. And through it all, she was driven by one burning conviction: if you love Christ, you must go where he is.